Hello, readers, although I should really be saying hello, detectives, because today we're going to be learning about the skill of inference, which is finding things in text that are not explicitly mentioned. Sometimes, what a story wants to tell us is right there. For example, the idea that Nevaeh is on a deserted island. That's explicit. But there are some other things where you need to kind of read between the lines that are implied. They're implicit pieces of information. And we need to use our detective skills. We need to infer, to draw out that information from between the lines of what is explicitly being said. So this is known as inference. It's also known as deduction. We're trying to pull information out of the story. So what do we know? That's the first step, is what do we know explicitly? And then what information from what we explicitly know, what we definitely know, what can we guess at? What can we make educated guesses about? So reviewing Nevaeh's situation in A New Friend, we know that she's on an island of some kind, a deserted island. We know that there are coconuts. We know that she was left there by some group of people referred to only as they. We know that there are sea lions near the island. And we know that there are fish. So that's us going through the story and kind of taking our detective's magnifying glass and say, okay, what are the concrete physical things that we know about Nevaeh's situation? And then from there, we can play detective and try to figure out what these things have in common, like how she was left on an island. And there's not necessarily one correct answer with an inference. You are just making an educated guess. So for example, Nevaeh was ditched on an island. We're not sure necessarily how she got there. So if we have as a fact number one that Nevaeh is on a desert island, she was left there. In fact, the word they use in the story is ditched. So Nevaeh was ditched on the island, and now our inference, how did she get there? We know that some people left her there because they're mean. But how did they put her there? Did they drive? Did they use a car or a truck? That seems unlikely because there's no way off the island, right? She's been there for 2 weeks. She's getting used to her fate, her destiny, It doesn't seem like, I'm inferring from this, there's no way off the island, so it's probably not a car. We can rule that out. But it might be a plane or a boat. Planes, after all, can get to places that cars cannot get to, and boats can get to places that even planes can't get to. We don't really have the information to rule out plane versus boat, but that's one example of a deduction we could make. So fact number two, the island that Nevaeh is on has sea lions, coconuts, and fish. And what can we deduce from that? Well, okay, fish live in the ocean. I don't know how much that helps us necessarily. But coconuts, what do we know about coconuts? They grow in tropical places, right? So if we take what we know about coconuts and we take what we know about sea lions, sea lions live all over the world. Sometimes they live in very cold places. Coconuts, though, don't grow in cold places. They are also cultivated all over the world. She could be anywhere. She could be in Indonesia, India, Australia, Puerto Rico, Hawaii. She could be anywhere, the Philippines. But she's probably not in Antarctica. We can deduce from this information that because of the things that are on the island, that Nevaeh is somewhere warm. But saying it's somewhere warm, again, there could be many possible correct answers. There can be multiple possible interpretations, right? If we take what the they say, the people that abandoned Nevaeh on the island, if we take their statement at face value, that they say the waters are cursed, well, we can deduce if they think they're being truthful, then they're very superstitious. They believe that the water could be cursed. Or, another possibility, they're saying it to be mean. Both things are possible. Both things could be true at the same time. So now you practice. Go through this story or one like it and try to make some deductions. Try to infer some information that isn't obvious from the text. Start with a fact, start with two facts, and then try to figure out what those facts tell you when you put them together. You can learn anything. David out.